the meeting to order at 6:05. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from September 12th, 2017.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from September 12th, 2017, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting, or the minutes of the special meeting on September 19th, 2017. There's
Second.
Any discussion? This is where we met to award the Bridge 42 contract.
Yep.
Okay.
For bridge, 42.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from September 19th, 2017, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Okay, where were you?
Oh, sorry, aye.
Aye, okay, so the motion passes.
Yes.
Additions and deletions to the agenda, are there any? Okay, hearing none, then moving on to the highway. Kurt, your report, please?
I don't know if the billing came through yet. We had Hunter North for 3 days.
We haven't seen them yet.
That isn't coming in. Okay. Yeah, we concentrated on ditching real heavy. It was Bob and I. Ed went down to Florida. His father moved down to Florida last week.
Good time to move up.
He's living up here in Dulles Falls now, so Ed had to take off and do that. Yeah, we've just been. We started the project on Plumb Hill grant, the riprap project for the clay slide. Started that today. And I did not call Wyndham Regional this week. I have not called them yet. So I usually call them once a week to see where we stand.
Well, we're running out of time.
I don't know what this is.
Well, they aren't gonna get paid. It's not what they have to. They're either gonna tell us when they're gonna do it.
Because it's already October right now.
They're in breach of the contract that we signed, or they will be shortly in breach of the contract.
I talked to Town of Wardsboro. They have not been mowed yet either. Or either. Anyways, that guy has bailed on them too, or Bruce Orchid.
Is he totally bailed, or is it still transmission problems?
He won't contact Wardsboro. He won't contact us.
He actually called me back on 3 calls, and there was somebody suggested that he had some problems with the tractor, not just mechanical, but like a repossession or something like that. That pretty much he's out of business. Anyway, he hasn't called back. So.
And this is the second year that roads are not going to go.
Excuse me, that is absolutely incorrect. We rented you a mower last year, and you and the crew mowed everywhere you were. Yes, sir, you did. Would you like to see the bills? Craig, would you please go get the bills?
Mowing?
Yes, you did. We rented the mower last year.
Was the year before you?
Yes.
Okay, I made a mistake.
Last year was mowed. You and the crew mowed last year.
Just false. If it is, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I thought it was the year before.
No, because we alternate. It's every other year. Last year you had it arranged to rent the mower again. This year we said, no, this is the year we're supposed to hire it out.
You're right.
Okay.
We want Craig to stop.
Now, Craig, you don't need to find it. Never mind.
Never mind.
We're in agreement.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I got it. Somewhere.
So yes, they won't be mowed again this year. And we're going to have to do something to try to mitigate the fact that this isn't happening. This was a year that needed to be mowed because of all the rain. There was just so much growth.
I did, okay, if you don't want to mow, there is somebody else on the line who will mow for us.
Okay, but at this year or?
This year.
This year?
Yeah, he's doing a new thing right now. And he said he would mow Townsend. And he would have to know relatively soon, and he would do it for the same price as Jamaica, because it's been about the same mileages, and he figured that out. Actually, we have a little bit more than Jamaica, but
Did he give you, or if I did what that was?
$9,000.
9,000. Okay, so what's your thoughts on that?
What's he mowing?
Jake Beatty, you know, the tractor, weird guy with the mower, it's on over the guardrail. It's a ditch down up rotary mower.
So who is it?
Jake Beatty.
How much width?
So can we have Craig call and see?
It's gotta be 6 or 7 foot. It's a huge mower.
No, like, Bruce's bid, I think, was for 3 widths in the areas that he could go, 3 of this.
Well, we would have to do 2, I told him that too.
So the question is, you said he would do it as soon as he finished Newfane, is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I doubt seriously it's gonna be probably in this next week, but,
I don't know when he just started. I went to Newfane to ask him about their mowing because I know they quit at 3. He had just started that day.
okay. So is this something we'd
That was
like to
yesterday.
pursue for this year?
Yeah.
Yes. So I will call Jake and ask, I gotta ask him when and.
Right, just put him in touch with Craig if you would, please. All right, then moving on, did you ever get a chance to talk about the front end loader?
Well, I gave her the information, yeah. He went over it.
You got the information, okay. So I guess that'll be something that we will discuss then, not right now, but later on, this move that, the actual discussion and decision as to whether we're going to finance the purchase, later on in the meeting. As long as you're in agreement on the specs, is that correct, Irv?
Right.
Yeah, you and Kurt are in agreement on the specs?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll talk about the financing later, you don't need to sit through that discussion.
See what we do, financing stuff, right?
All right, and then moving on to the winter salt contract, you got,
I did, yeah, I just got that. And I think, I know we worked with Cargill for years, but Cargill's not promising,
Carter didn't
They don't, doesn't seem like they bid on
no, they didn't bid.
municipalities,
Right.
just a state contract this year, which brings us back to American, or the other one.
Right, American Russell.
So the bid, as I read it, is $71.32 a ton? Okay, we just looked up,
Where's American,
New Hampshire,
storage agency?
Claremont, New Hampshire.
Claremont?
They used to be out of New York. I bought some one year, they're out of Albany, I bought from Albany.
So this is delivered cost.
These guys, yeah, this is, these guys are out of Claremont.
No, I asked that, we used to get, it used to come out before Cairo moved to Bellows Falls. There was one year it come out of Whitcomb's, and then before that, the other salt came out of Claremont. C&I Construction delivered it that time.
then, we looked up the, last year, we paid a total of $43,000 for salt, and we used 526 tons. The board had approved 450 tons at $81.80 a ton. So I don't know what you would like to do this year as far as setting the, you could put, okay, I'll take that. One of them.
You're better at punching last time.
Last year was 81.80
You're
a
gonna be
ton.
one of those nights.
And the total cost, according to the
Right.
records, was 43,000.
What was the total tonnage?
526 ton. So
You
again,
put all that on the common?
yeah, I think you did, all in one tree, right?
I pre-salted.
You pre-filled those trees, thank you.
John done it in between times.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know what you'd like to do. I mean, normally what we do is we decide on a tonnage amount, I don't know if American's gonna want a contract or not.
This came through as an email, I'm not sure who got the email, but it's late. We're already 3 months late on, usually we do this almost the one last year in June or something, and get made a motion. So it's usually springtime that Kirk gets some numbers, nothing's come through until just now. So,
Well, last year we made we were gonna use 450 tons and we blew it away.
You know, I don't use more than I have to, believe it or not.
We keep hearing that.
So that's
But you're not
usually
gonna do the
about
competition.
5.5 tons per mile.
And how much rain, the rain kills it.
That's a lot of salt per mile of road.
Yeah.
But then again, with the new purchase order system that we've talked about, it will end up being tracked this year. So what we will be able, if we set,
I was just gonna correct her, it's 52 tons per month.
Yeah, 51 and change.
when,
Yeah, it's not
We set it up
five,
for 40 last year,
for what? We set up 450 tons, is what we said.
450.
Yeah,
I'm making most of it 450 this year, and stay within that figure.
Do the best I can.
is there a second to that?
Second.
All right, do we know, can we find out if there is a contract?
I can get hold of American, yeah.
You know, because I know I've signed some contracts before.
I have bought from American when cargo was short that one year.
Yeah, because I remember the name, I think
They
they're,
came out
I think
of
they're in the system. All right, 450 ton.
At 71.32 a ton,
Okay.
all right? So,
And some, Will, you second? Yes, Will.
okay, so is there any further discussion on it? Hearing none, all those in favor of potentially signing a contract, is the only way I can put it, because I don't know if we have to sign one, with American for Roadside this year at 450 tons, it's $71.32 a ton, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Well, you have this piece of paper.
Yes.
With a little thing on the bottom, that's pretty much all they want.
Well, mine didn't have a little thing on the
Actually, I
bottom.
just printed out the graph, what's it, I can print it
That's
for.
a ton in signature, phone, fax, email, name, title, date, customer number, Wyndham County District 2.
Oh, okay, well then, yeah,
That's all.
I'll go back to the front
Okay.
page, because
It's not really,
I just did the attachment.
so that's what they want for a contract, okay, perfect, then we'll get that taken care of. Okay, and now moving on to sand.
it's funny, I called up Successful the other day, he was supposed to be sending what was yesterday? Jesus, no, yeah. It was actually yesterday, he'll be sending a letter.
Okay,
Price.
what's the price for
Yeah.
the sand? All right, and then while you're here, we need to have a discussion about the uniforms.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Is our contract up?
it is not up, but they have hit us with another price increase. In the last year, the price has gone from, and it's almost exactly a year, has gone from $65.15 to $82.97 as the bill we got today, almost 30%.
Okay.
We've been sitting here looking over the incidental charges, we're now being charged for things like bowl clips for the toilets.
For the
Air
handlebar stirrup.
fresheners, the two different air fresheners in there.
Yeah, you've got air service for
Hanger rack.
the uniforms, the hanger rack, which we've been told we don't need.
Hanger rack.
Hanger rack at $1.90 a
Oh,
week.
the hanger rack?
Yeah.
Well, that was from the old shop, I didn't know we paid for that, we don't need that.
We pay rental on it.
I did not.
Every week, it's like the oil can that the rag's going to. You need a safety can so they don't come up. But we're paying 88 cents a week for it. I can buy you one for $20. You know, we're buying two of them a year basically, and we're paying the rent. Anyway, the uniforms come out to like $54 a week, and we're paying 80 something because of the add-ons, and they keep adding stuff on.
Yeah, they take all that stuff out.
Well, see, that's it, this just came on as of June of this year, those sanitizers for the
Yeah, the
toilets.
incident.
And the guy, they've been putting those in there since we got the new shop.
Well, all I know is that they're now charging us more than $2 per business a piece, I can buy a cheaper one. But one of the issues that we do have is we signed a contract, I believe at $50 some odd, wasn't it?
56 and change.
When we originally renewed the contract. and we're now up to almost $83. Every time they go up, we do have the opportunity to get out of the contract, because unless we pay the bill and accept the charge, we can essentially say, no, we don't accept this, you know, thank you, we're done. So I don't know what the board feels, but this type of an increase is getting absurd. They've done it before.
Have you looked at people?
We haven't looked at anybody else. This just came in. It's hot off the presses. I know there's been calls to UniFirst today to find out what some of the stuff was, and
Yeah, the salesman did not call back. His name was on the bottom of the sheet. He did not call back. But two things can happen. One, we can reduce some of the delivery, some of the things that we're receiving, because some of it is, as you say, I can go to Walmart and buy air fresheners that'll run you outside of the place that aren't.
That guy
replaced
put
on
them in
the
there,
days.
like, you're.
Well, okay, he's charging us every week for them, so he's either replacing them, but I can buy you one that'll last
I know,
a month.
I did not know that.
For a lot cheaper. That having been said, we can reduce this, because uniforms are part of the contract with employees. But all this other stuff isn't, and this is, it's nickel and diming, but at an extra.
But it's adding up.
But an extra $20 a week is $1,000 a year on little things that you don't really need.
Yeah.
You guys can set a level fee of something, and that'll be the purchase order, and that'll be it for the next year, like $65, and they'll have to live within that range without price increases or anything else. They'll have to adjust accordingly.
well,
Or you can talk contract renegotiation or elimination.
exactly.
Cancellation,
And I think
yeah.
that's where we need to make some kind of a decision, because this cannot continue. That 30% in a year is just not acceptable.
No,
You know, they're not
it's
giving
too
us
much.
anything
With
new.
no warning whatsoever.
Well, when I started doing this back in whenever it was, 8 or 9 or something, 10 anyway, the bill was somewhere around $65 or $70. By the time you got on board, Kathy, it was $130. And that's why we canceled the service, and they came and said, hey, no, we can do this for half. So we signed a contract at 56 or something. Now it's crept back up to 80. And this is how they do it. It just creeps up. We shouldn't pay for anything we don't pre-approve and ask for.
Right.
And,
Right.
So how would you like to go about, which step would you like to take? Would you like to pursue trying to get rid of unnecessary things with UniFirst? Would you
Yes.
like to try to renegotiate the entire contract? Would you like to
I think
see
we
about
should
somebody
start by
else?
immediately having them eliminate the incidentals.
Correct.
And then we should maybe look at getting some quotes.
Well, give them an opportunity to cut the bill in half again.
Yeah.
It's not quite as double, but I will say that, you know, one of the charges they're charging is fuel delivery fee. You know,
Well,
the def,
everybody.
Everybody's doing that.
but
for
the
everything,
the def charge went from $4 to $8.
Yeah.
per week.
And fuel's come down since.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The debt charge, $8 a week, and we're not the only one, I mean, it's not like they're driving all the way from wherever,
Just
Lebanon to
for
here,
us.
for us. Yeah, we're in,
And then we've got, you know, there's just multiple things on here that have no benefit, in no way, shape, or form benefit the highway department, you know, with what's going on.
well,
They're
a
just-
30% increase in a year is a lot, and we've not got that inflationary kind of pressure right now. So, and that's just a lot.
And unless we push back, we're just gonna keep doing it. So
It'll go to
Right,
100
exactly.
before, it'll go to 100 before Christmas, like, you know, it's
I was gonna say, so somebody needs to make a motion, one way to go, how you would like to direct the discussion from here.
So I would make a motion that we drop all the incidental charges on the UniFirst invoice and contact them and see if they can reduce their pricing to where it was prior to this latest increase.
Okay, so,
Otherwise, we're gonna look for another supplier.
okay, so that's the motion, is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, I just wanna clarify that under incidentals, are we talking about anything
Other than clothing.
other than clothing?
Mhm.
So that would be the rags, that'd be the
No,
air
no.
freshener.
We need the rags. We need the rags, and we need a fireproof container for our hazardous waste permit.
Well, Craig can buy,
Yeah, we
can
can
buy
get one of
the
those.
can.
Okay, buy one of those.
That way it's yours. It doesn't, if you run over it, you run over it, we don't have to buy it again from them, so to speak.
What do you want to do for rags?
Well, I don't know, that's why I was just clarifying when we say
Right.
all
We use
incidentals.
rags for,
Everything.
Well, one of the problems that Elaine found out, she talked to the woman over there at length, is that they charge us for extra heavily soiled rags. And they charge us, and they throw the rag away apparently, and they charge us for anything that's got a hole in it.
Mm.
But the racks I've seen up there all have holes in them anyway, so they're taking,
Yeah, they come back.
Exactly.
and they're 18 by 18 racks that have been washed so many times that they're now 12 by 12. You know, and they're faded, they're no longer red, they're pink. I mean, they're pretty well worn. I mean, they've been through some heavy degreasing detergents and some steam. So they have been used hard. And if you send one back with a hole in it and they charge us for it, they're just gonna wash it and send it to somebody else and then charge them for the one with a hole.
Or send it back to us.
Right, so they can charge multiple times, yeah, because bags of rags always have holes.
You,
Doesn't matter.
Now, I know the state has a uniform service, and we can piggyback on their bids and stuff. Should we look into those?
Could we find out at least who it is?
I could call them,
I mean, that would be great if
Yeah.
we're going to start looking and comparing different pieces.
because I tried for a loader, I tried to get for the loader. We don't get notified when they do this.
Mhm.
But we already missed that was last year.
So again, we're, just to clarify, what we're taking off here so we don't, there's no misunderstanding. We're talking about the bowl fresheners, the bag wipers, the rags. Wait a minute, now I'm really confused.
You have wipers, you have T-cells, you have,
What's this? Bagged 8x18 wipers at $11.
that's a bag of 100 rags.
And then replace bag 18x18 2 at
This is
$2.20.
Because there's labor involved in replacing it. There's the cost of the
it's-
material, and
so
there's the labor of hauling it from the truck.
So it's $13.20 total per week.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, then a T-cell, which we don't seem to be
That's an air,
charged.
that's an air freshener. Or-
Okay.
or that's the air freshener
The
holder.
insert.
That's the
Yeah.
holder. right.
Okay, so that's $3.10 a week. The hanger rack, which evidently everybody agrees we don't need at $1.90 a
No,
week.
You guys got lockers up there.
And then the safety can at 96 cents a week. So all those items we will find another source of. Is that where we are? Okay.
And the extra size charge,
And the what?
and the extra size charge.
Oh, well, no, that's not down there.
Just need to.
This one is actually not on here anymore.
Anyway, got it. Okay, so there's a motion on the table?
Yep. So is there any additional discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of renegotiating and removing clothing-related items from the UniFirst bill signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Okay,
Okay, now
so,
this bill that you just read and reviewed is in the warrants. We did get that in today. It just showed up this morning, or yesterday morning, can't remember, it was yesterday morning, I guess. So it is in today's warrants, we can pay that one, but everything from here on out, from tomorrow morning
We'll
on,
need to
from
look
9
at it.
o'clock tomorrow morning, they'll be cleaned and should be considerably less.
Yeah, because if they signed we signed a contract with them,
For uniforms,
yeah,
yeah,
I realize that.
and,
Hey,
yeah,
that's what it should be.
I-
Not them keep adding on to it.
well, but the problem is the way that contract is written, it's that long. It's a book, number one, and number two, it has more escape clauses than Swiss cheese has holes. They can go up in price, they don't have to notify us, it just goes on and on. The only way to actually get the point across would be to not pay this newest bill at that price and basically force them to renegotiate. So that bill that I just read from is in the.
In the warrants, yeah.
well, in that, and as I say, it just arrived yesterday, so theoretically, I mean, you can table it for 30 days too, and it gives you time to work these
To
things
talk
out.
to them.
Right.
Okay, so if you.
But we don't need 2 air fresheners in the bathroom up there, I know it needs.
I know if Curtis, if you find out who the state is using and get
Yeah.
any particulars, please forward that on to Craig. Okay, is there anything else for the highway department?
2 items. Do you have the performance evaluations for your 2 employees?
Yes, I do. You know, I didn't have them signed. Yeah. You want to sign them before I give them to you?
That would be nice.
So I didn't have them
Are
signed.
they all filled out?
Yep.
And second, I was across the street last week, maybe it was Thursday, in the morning, and I watched our treasurer sweeping the sidewalks, all the grass from being mowed the night before. Can he clean the walks after he mows?
I'll walk over there right now and tell him. I've never seen the guy. They're moving grass over here. Was
Along the street and the front coming up into the
Mhm.
front steps?
he should mow it so it blows in instead of
Mm-hmm.
out.
And it drives over the sidewalk down here and he blows it out toward the street.
You should,
Yeah, 'cause I noticed it. He goes right across it, and that's what, instead of just mowing that section over there, in this section, he goes right across, that's what blows all the grass out on the sidewalk.
Did you do a job review for him?
I did that.
Maybe we need to.
Okay, so if there's nothing else for Kurt, then we'll move on.
Oh, I think there is one more item. Did you get the tonnage slips from Basin Brothers?
Oh, okay.
I did not.
That's in the warrants as well, and we don't have any slips.
I mean, the total came in under, but there needs to be some kind of,
The total came in under the maximum amount, but I think it was what they bid. I can go look at their original bid, and I do believe they have the tonnage on there as a, so it says a price per ton
Oh,
in
we talked about
place.
that last meeting, I never got the ton of slips from them. Do you want me to call them, have them send them over? Because there should be 3 copies.
I think we need to look at the number, it needs to go in the file.
Yeah, their bid was a price per ton in place, not to exceed.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
we didn't have a number.
So they could
Gonna make them
give
go
us a
for it.
bill for 78 grand, they look great, but maybe we could have.
No, I'm saying they went as far as, you're right, as far as they could go within that framework, but how thick they put it, how much they actually was
Yeah,
delivered. Yeah.
so if you could get those forwarded, if you can get them from Basin.
I was gonna say, we always used to get,
Oh, we got filing cabinets full of them, yeah.
an individual slips from each truck, so you knew what your tonnages were.
Okay, so if you could find out on that winter sand and follow up and make sure we get some kind of a, Mr. Osmo
Oh, as soon as I get it, I'll send it.
piece, that'd be great. And other than that, I have nothing else, anybody?
No, I think we're good.
All right,
Everyone else up?
thank you.
Thanks for doing the gate bed as well.
Thank
too.
you.
All right.
Thank you for doing the gate bed.
Oh, you're welcome.
Everybody says it looks good.
I didn't know there was a gate in the woods out there.
He must have found it with the mower.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't. I mean, it was there.
Huh?
It was there.
All right, thank you.
Have a good night, Kurt.
Oh, and Joe, thank you for sweeping the sidewalk.
You all should have a counter monies report from the town clerk's office.
Yep.
The treasurer, Mr. Joe.
Okay. In your checking account, you have $28,793.25. The sweep account, you have $1,032,932.85.
Okay.
That's what we had.
That's what you had? Well, we haven't done it yet. We still have it right now.
Yeah.
We'll take care of it in a minute. Not a problem.
1,032,000, got it.
Any questions for the treasurer? All right,
Shrunk
then.
since last time.
Huh,
Paid the schools.
I know.
imagine, funny how that happens.
I know what it is.
Darn. The audit schedule, did we ever make contact with the auditors
I don't have a fixed date, but it looks like it's gonna be the 20th, and done with the calendar.
of October?
Yeah. Third week, beginning of third week October, before Halloween, and they're only gonna be here for 2 days. So, a lot of this is going back and forth online, already beginning.
Who does the audit?
McSully and McCoy, they're up in Burlington, and a gentleman named Matt Shaver's been down here twice. So he's fairly familiar with our operations here. He's done it twice.
All right, then moving on to the warrants.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 1, payroll, in the amount of $8,072.80.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying warrant number 1 payroll in the amount of $8,072.80 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Motion to pay check warrant number 2 of the taxes in the amount of $3,420.23.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying warrant number 2, payroll taxes in the amount of $3,420.23, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 3, general fund, in the amount of $1,868.52.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 3 in the amount of $1,868.52, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 4 in the amount of $76,746.26.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
We don't have the load slips, as we mentioned, so I think we need that.
So,
Should we amend it to take out the paving?
It is the payment.
It's just the paving.
I know it's not.
No, there's other stuff in it.
There's something very small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something else.
The $14 in gas?
Could be, yep.
I think that might be it.
There's Northeast Dental,
That's already paid.
It's already paid.
134, there's UniFirst, 7558, and there's VLCT,
To
4620.
pass it
Yeah.
for the unemployed, so no, we need to just pull, if you want to do that, we need to pull that out of there.
That should have been on separate. She hasn't gotten it. That should be on separate warrant, all that stuff in.
Yeah.
They should be big things on themselves. I would have done that
So you're going to need to amend that motion to be $256.34.
It's moved.
Second.
What is
myself. Correct number?
that? We're amending the motion to $256.34.
3, 4. Okay.
Then we need to sign that.
Yeah, it'll need to be signed. So you seconded
Second,
that amendment, okay, so all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 4 in the amended amount of $256.34, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 5 in the amount of $82.97.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes.
This is the uniforms.
Uniforms, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, so what's your pleasure? Do you want to hold it? What do you want to do?
Hold it.
Yeah, we'll do it until we contact them.
Yep.
Okay, so the motion needs to be amended to table.
I make the motion we table. Check warrant.
Okay, is there a second to
Second.
table? Okay, all those in favor of tabling highway warrant number 5 in the amount of $82.97, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. So would you let Elaine know that that one is to be held?
As, yes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 6 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $669.50.
Is there a
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying the equipment warrant number 6 in the amount of $669.50, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. All right, so that takes care of the bills. There are no members of the public. Correspondence, I believe you all have in your box a letter from Bob Silver and to the select board. And the subject of it is Paul Stone's property. It's located across from Dem Niner next to Lisa Johnson's property. This is interesting. Anyway, on numerous occasions I have complained to the town and called whoever I was told to call. I believe that property
Is polluted.
okay, is polluting the water which runs from that property under Route 30 onto my property across the road, the old gravel pit. I was told today to put my complaint and concern in writing. Sincerely, Bob Silver. So,
He just thinks. He don't know.
Thinks that the
That's
water
part of
runs
that.
downhill?
Huh?
Thinks that the water runs downhill?
I know it runs downhill, but if there's not a sample taken, you can't say it's frozen until there is. I'm not
No.
arguing the point, but
Good point.
So what's your pleasure?
Is it up to him to get the water sample or us after we?
I believe there's already been multiple attempts to get the state involved in that particular piece of property.
probably the quickest way.
Well, it's already been done, and the state would not engage. So, I don't know which way you'd wanna go. Everybody from the state to the town has an ordinance about junkyards, but the only way to enforce it technically is through civil law.
So we have to sue.
Well, the procedure would be, it has been tried twice procedurally to go through your health officer. And that could be done again. In 2011, I was a deputy, Tim Schaefer as your health officer, and I went out there, talked to Mr. Stone. He promised to clean up the operation, clean up the property, because he was tearing things apart. There was oil in the soil, whatever. It didn't look very good at that point. There was no question about, there was no indication that it was going on to other people's property, but it was an issue, and there was some burning and whatever going on. 3 or 4 years later, deputy health officer Holly Hockerlitz went out based on a complaint, did an investigation of her own, and tried to engage the Department of Environmental Conservation. That didn't go very far. I don't know where it went, but it didn't go very far. And I think it was in part because it was such a small, microscopic thing for the state to come down from Burlington, an investigator from Springfield, that she couldn't get them to engage in it in a larger way. I don't know if water samples were done or soil samples were done, but I know that she was frustrated, and I know this board back then tried to deal with that from her point of view, that she was trying to do something, couldn't get the state to. But I would suggest that if you want to do something, the next step would be through your health officer, who is Tim Schiffer. He is a state official. He has a 5-year appointment. He's got another 3 or 4 on that appointment. But he would be able to make a phone call or do an investigation of his own. That would be, and if he can't, if his hands are tied, if it's not in the official's manual, then presumably he can come back to you and tell you that you really need to call somebody else, or you need to do something. But I would go, that would be, in my opinion, that would be the select board's next step. Be engaged, the gentleman across the street whose job this really is, and have him see if he can't make some headway. I mean, I don't think we want to call it a attorney at this point.
Then, yeah.
Not this week.
I will very, very politely state right now that I am not going to court again within the next
Before
6
Christmas.
months.
You went and jinxed yourself there, didn't you?
No, I got stories that I'll tell. Anyway,
I would move we contact the health officer and have him pay them a visit.
I'll write something up for Dr. Schaefer.
is there a second to that?
I don't know the property. I don't,
You're about to own the one right next door, so
Yeah.
you might want to be concerned.
Yeah,
That's
it's,
it.
Okay.
it's
so the
a
second
pretty
and third.
significant mess.
So all those in favor of having Craig write a letter to the health officer detailing some of the issues that have been brought to our attention and seeing if he can help, signify by saying
Aye.
opposed, abstentions, motion passes. All right, was there any other, I guess that was all of correspondence. All right, then, common road policy. Again, we've kind of thrown it out there that we would like to reduce the amount of salt that's being put on common road.
Mhm.
And another issue that we talked about with the principals was the fact that it has been going to be in everybody's best interest if this becomes a one-way road, so the traffic is all flowing in the same direction on the road. I gave kind of a draft list to Craig that needed language.
And I haven't had time to do anything with
Right.
it. You did that last week. You also did the common use, it's just a talking points
Right.
that you, yeah.
So basically, what this says, it needs all the legal language, but town highway, whatever number it is, I don't know, locally known as common road is hereby rendered one-way beginning at the intersection of Route 35 and continuing southerly to the intersection with Vermont Route 30. And then we would have to decide if in effect, only during school hours or whether it would be a permanent change of direction. And then also as in conjunction with that directional piece, that we would like that road to be designated as a salt reduction area to protect the trees that we
Mhm.
get. So any other thoughts and whatnot, we need to get them down on paper because we're getting into the change time of year.
Right.
And we're going to need to have the signs ordered if we're going to make it
Right.
one way.
Does anyone see any reason not to make it one way all the time, if we're gonna do that?
Was there a reason with the state because of Route 30, Irv?
That I couldn't tell you. No, I don't know, there may be, but there may not be, without connecting.
If we do it one way, I would say we do it for
Just
all the
All
time.
the
All
time,
the time.
right, it just seems that
Find out if
the
it's
most-
a mistake.
Right.
simple solution.
You call District 2 and they could tell you. Out of Dummerston.
Yeah, so if we could actually get the language that needs to be in or whatever the appropriate language is, and then make contact with District 2 to find out if there is, for any reason, that we could not make that a permanent one-way
Okay.
road. Hopefully we can have something to look at the next meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and then
But
get
with, when you plow, you've got to have plowed both ways on it.
And that's okay, you can have a one-way street that municipal vehicles and emergency vehicles can ignore the sign of. And I agree with you guys for logical reasons, if it's a one-way, people don't wanna read details that it's one way
exactly.
between 9 in the morning or 8 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, yeah, right. So I'll contact district, I'll talk to V-Trans.
Cool.
Any helpful language on that, and see if they have any issues with it.
And separately, I would move that we just designated a low salt area, a low salt road.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it should be a reduced all area.
Yeah.
And when you have this language, and if there's anything else you wanna do, like
Killing
no
the
parking
trees
on the
and
grass
everything
or
else
something
with
like
all that
that,
extra salt.
yeah, we can add that into the policy.
We can roll that all into one, it doesn't need.
Right, those are up to the municipality, this obviously has gotta be, state legitimate, or at least
Right.
state reviewed.
Okay, so if you would follow
Stay
through
appropriate.
on that,
I will.
please. And then the common use policy, again, I did the same thing, sat there and wrecked my little pea brain. Again, these are just talking points, these are a place to start with our discussions. What we talked about, the fee for renting it, just like there's a fee for the town hall.
Mm-hmm.
Protecting the trees where we can. Providing a liability insurance certificate. But again, you're welcome to add or delete. This chair needs to stop doing that or I'm gonna be under the table shortly. You gave me the bad chair deliberately, didn't you?
I did not.
So that I would continue to sink all during the
I
meeting.
did not give you the
You
bad.
did.
I did not.
You did?
I took the good chair, but I did not give you the bad chair
Mhm.
deliberately.
Well, I keep, this is the third time I've sunk. My head, my chin will hit the table, you know we're done.
The one thing I would change is just the last one. I wouldn't call it an additional fee, I would just say reparations may be charged in the event of significant damage. Lawn, gazebo, or fountain.
We could do that, it doesn't really matter the language, I mean, this was just, there we go again. This is just conceptual.
Right. Yeah, I think that certainly covers everything we've discussed.
What does the Heritage Festival have to pay Newfane for the common?
I don't know. I can't tell you, that belongs to the courthouse, that doesn't actually belong to the town of Newfane.
Courthouse?
It's courthouse property.
But see, this property's not owned by the town.
Who owns it?
It's leased to the inhabitants of the town of Townshend, as long as the meeting house stays there, which is the church. There's still heirs left to that property.
Says motorized vehicles are prohibited from driving on grassy areas of the common. Is that like even remotely onto the grass, like 0 wheels on the dirt? Or does it mean like,
That could probably use some clarification. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
just
that's
in
what I
terms
mean.
of talking
You know,
point
I mean-
about vehicles, and we had them
Yeah.
for the fair days, they were all over the town, and heavy trucks too, hauling booths. So, I mean, I think that needs to be expanded upon, clarified more, without permission, unauthorized vehicle, whatever. Because you know the town trucks are gonna go on there to paint the town.
In the structures section, should we put something in about how far in advance they can construct the structures? I think part of the problem we had with the fair this past year is that they put them up a week before.
They always
Do they?
I don't know, like I said, this is just a
Yeah.
place to start for actually getting something down that is,
Right.
And it could be that anybody using it's gotta sign a
They
little
put those
contract,
up every
and
year
the
the
contract
weekend
may be
before.
different depending on what they're gonna do with it.
I
It's
thought
a
they
wedding.
started putting like a few of them up where the ice cream stand was early, but not all the whole show. I thought a lot of it went up on like Thursday before the.
That's what I thought. It seemed
This
like
week
this
it
year,
was-
this
this week
year
it
it
was
seemed,
almost 10
It was like a
yeah, it seemed
whole,
like they were
It was-
up a
it was
long
10
time.
it was
days.
like Tent City was going on there.
Yeah.
And you're right, yeah, a couple of them were complicated, had to be nailed together. Those started going up like on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that, but the majority went in Thursday, Friday, before the event. So this year, for some reason, it was a little longer. And if somebody wants to use the common, there might be something that they have to sign, like a contract, and you can put those terms in there.
Right.
You know, if you're having a wedding and you're pitching a tent, you can pitch the tent 24 hours in advance. If you're having a white elephant sale, you have to set up booths, and they're old booths or the church booths or something. Maybe 48 hours or 72 hours, but I think you can have different
Right,
terms.
you limit the time they can
Right.
stay on the grass.
Right, but I don't know that you have to actually build all the details into a policy
That's
statement.
true.
Those can be working,
Worked into the.
and if you want to, right, and if you want to set things up a week in advance, it's just going to cost you an extra $5K.
On the small end.
If you start charging,
At the board meeting.
you start charging so much, you're gonna get private individuals that wanna use it.
Well, and again, that's where this needs to be careful, so that you're not renting it out to businesses.
No, that's
Because
right.
we've been there, done that, no, businesses is the wrong way, but I mean, you gotta be careful how you pick and choose. And therefore, there needs to be somebody in charge of actually, executing this, so to speak.
Mhm.
And whether that's the town clerk, or whether it's the board, or whether it's however the governance structure comes down, there should be somebody that's actually named in the policy. As to who to see.
Right, it seems like it would kind of naturally fall to the town clerk just because of ease of access.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, I mean-
she's open all week, and
Right.
she should, right, and if she has a guiding, principle of funds, she's got a calendar.
Mhm.
Yeah, it does make sense.
any other discussion? Okay, well, think about it so that we can actually have something,
It'd be nice to have something in place by the beginning of the year.
right, because we'll start
Calendar.
getting notification of all the events for everything from the hospital to, I guess the pumpkin festival. they'll
Well, it'd be
set
nice to
their date.
talk about it on camera for a few
Right.
meetings and be able to kind of broadcast it out there, but have it go into effect like on January 1st, so that everything that happens, we're not gonna, pumpkin festival. After that, you got holiday of horses, they don't generally ride on the common, first, whatever it is, Sunday in December. then that's not really a use of that, it's just a place to turn around, but you know what I mean? As of January 1st, hopefully, it would be nice to have something in place so that we can treat everybody the same.
Email me a copy of that.
Of this?
Yeah, sure, thank you.
I'm not, okay,
I'll
Throw
link
that
you
one
forward to me.
Hmm?
Are we gonna throw that one away?
No, then I can edit it
he can edit it.
without literally copying and pasting.
All right, then moving on to an update on the Johnson property. This is where my little previous statement about not going to court comes into play. I'll let Craig fill you all in.
On how crazy you can get sometimes. No, we made an attempt to serve the defendant, Ms. Johnson, with regard to, we bought her property at tax sale. She was given 90+ days to evict. We don't know if she picked up, we know that we were unable to serve through certified mail. She refused to pick it up, and we don't know if she picked up the notices that were actually mailed to the door of the premises in West Townsend, the residents in West Townsend. That said, they have come and gone little by little. I don't believe there's any power on, I don't believe there's any activity out there, but people have seen them come and go. The attorneys are not certain that it isn't still being occupied. Therefore, the next legal move on this is to go and talk to a judge and say, we would like to charge her because we own the property, we bought it at tax sale, but we don't know that she has actually left the premises. We need to charge her rent. And the court will very quickly, within a week or two of that filing, require her to pay rent or escrow money to the town. If she doesn't, and it's not likely that she will, the court will look at that after whatever, a period of time, a couple of weeks, and basically award the property to the town. We cannot prove that she's abandoned it, we can't prove that she isn't occupying it. Therefore, we need to go through a legal measure, which is basically to have rent paid. And the court has to sort of adjudicate that. In any case, there was an attempt to file a summons on her. She did not receive the paperwork. Our constable was unable to deliver it. The court had set a hearing date for this coming Monday. Just found out about that about a week ahead of time. And because we were unable to serve, they're going to ask for a continuance on that and ask for a different kind of order. Anyway, this is playing out. The attorneys at this point indicate that hopefully by the end of October, early November, we should have something considerably more definitive to lay our hands on. And I just want to get up there, put a shoulder to the door and see what's inside and take possession of the property.
Well, I will.
Get a mower up there, get a burn permit, something.
I will say, I
Don't
was,
burn permit for the house?
Sure.
I don't think Roger will go for that.
I will say that finding out that I had a court appointment, less than, let's see, you found out on Friday, I found out yesterday. So less than a week prior to that appointment was not acceptable either. The fact that we were not notified by our attorneys that this court date had been set seriously bothers me tremendously.
Well, our attorney has been working with me. Apparently, our attorney has changed somehow or other through the firm that we're working with. But I wasn't I found out about this from the constable who was unable to serve papers, not knowing where the defendant was. The summons for her to basically go to court, and came in to talk to me about how to fill out his end of the paperwork, or at least, and I said, well, you can't be serving summons if you don't have a docket number, and I mean, you can't unless you have a date and a court, and he said he did. And I was surprised that he had received that a couple of days earlier, so I photocopied that information, and then yesterday we talked to the attorneys to find out that we have a new representative, and that we will never be shorted again on any kind of goings-on, presumably, that are happening in the name of the town. I was taken a little aback by that. But, as I understand it, there will be a continuance from this Monday. It'll probably be somewhere toward the end, third week of October, October 20th. That a new hearing will be scheduled. And within, I believe, 12 to 14 days, the court should make some sort of judgment, hopefully in our favor. So, hopefully before the weather changes. Again, I'd like to see the property. I'd like to see whether the pipes are burst or whether we need to protect them from bursting. We are carrying insurance on the premise, not very much, but just basic coverage in case it does burn down in our absence. But if anything, it needs to be done before winter, or if we're going to let it go derelict, or if we're going to tear it down or something like that. That'll be a decision that the board makes or the town makes at a later point. But we will be getting into weather very shortly. Very shortly.
Cold weather, you're gonna have to make sure it drains anyways.
Well, if
It's been vacant.
I've heard from people that all the pipes are broken anyway. That they burst last year or the year before, so I don't really know, and not.
No, but I said you
not-
just wanna make sure that,
Right, not having legal authority to go in.
well, no,
Once-
not
once-
now, but I mean as soon as we can, before it gets too cold.
Right, once the court makes a judgment, apparently it's a very easy thing to do, to go off with the sheriff's deputy and a sledgehammer, or a pry bar, and find access somehow. So, we will see, and hopefully, again, before weather changes.
I'll probably be filling you all in after the fact, after I've already been to court, but, you know, we will keep you apprised.
So this is the same firm but a different lawyer.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not the same lawyer that filed the paperwork.
Is that what happened, just kind of got lost and
We don't know.
shuffled?
I don't.
Did they have any
He
explanation?
may not be available this week. He may be in court, or he may be on vacation, or there may be,
They know this, I have no idea, I wasn't informed anyway on that, I just heard that somebody else was taking over this case. And it's not because it's so complicated, but this firm has long years of history with this particular matter and this particular individual, so that's basically why we went there to begin with.
All right, then moving on to the new business, the Stone Arch Bridge meeting.
Yes, I do have a date for that. I just put it because I didn't have the date at that time. There are some people coming down from, I believe, Montpelier that represent AOT. The Historical Society has asked them to come and take a look at the Stone Arch bridges in hopes that we may be able to get some funds or some help or some guidance as to how to fix them. Charlie wants to, but hasn't found somebody yet to actually do the work, but wants to restore the ones that are artifacts. The ones that are off in the woods, the ones that aren't being used, the ones that you can see from the road at the state park or up on Negro Brook, Fairbrook. Other members of the Historical Society want AOT and V-Trans to look at the ones that are being used as highway bridges, whether it be the one on my property or at my property on Simpson Brook, or it be the one on Back Window, right there at that. There isn't enough money in the Stone Arch Bridge grant funds to deal in any kind of way, I don't believe, with any of the active highways. I believe that money would more properly be used for the ones that are
The artifacts.
simply there to be looked at, more so than used. So anyway, there is a meeting on the 24th, October 24th at 1 p.m. I'm not sure where they're going to meet. I've been speaking with Ms. Clausen, Heidi Clausen, and she's made this arrangement and asked, if possible, that a member of the select board come and talk to V-Trans or AOT and the Historical Society. I know Charlie Marshall will be there, she'll be there. I said I would if I could, and would put it before the
What day
select
are
board.
we?
October 24th is
Tuesday or Wednesday.
yeah, it's gonna be a Monday, actually.
Really?
Yeah. October 24th is a Monday at 1 p.m. at your house.
1 PM?
1 o'clock, yeah. So, that's what I know from now. It's still a month away, essentially. So that's what I got. Anyway, I just want to throw it out there. And we can do a tentative. I'll remind you again twice more as it gets closer.
The 24th.
October.
I think I can work out the. You said location to be determined.
Location to be determined, but because I believe it's going to be the Agency of Transportation, I think they're going to take a real hard look in at the Back Window Road Bridge. And I think that's going to be probably the one they might look at this one up on 35, but the one on 35 doesn't really need a lot of attention. I mean, it's in pretty good shape.
Right.
And the Back Window one, is still in pretty good shape. The arch is in really good shape.
The bridge is
I don't
in
know
fine
if
shape,
somebody-
it's the,
I don't know if somebody should inspect each rock. I don't know if there's one failing or not, but I know the deck is in fairly good shape, but the guardrails are
Right.
so-called. And I don't know if there are drainage issues anymore. I know that's been attended a number of times. But anyway, she's invited them out to have a look at that.
okay.
See, that one, the back window one, we done a bunch of work, had a bunch of work done on that one.
Yeah,
That had, on the east side of the road,
okay,
we had riprap put all the way up that bank where it was washing.
okay, yep.
And then on the other side, we had some work done, and they did redo the top of the rails, but that's all
That's all
due to the
crumbled,
weather,
yeah.
it's all spalled again and.
Yeah, that was a while ago though, wasn't it?
Well, back
20 years or 30 years or
probably
something?
95,
Yeah, okay,
96, somewhere in there.
okay. Anyway, that's all I know about it. I haven't, I've been out to see the bridges with the mason, with regard to getting them repaired, but that was a couple of years ago and that didn't materialize.
You see, that one, then, no, probably around 2000, that's why we changed that culvert by your
On the
place.
corner.
It goes straight down.
Goes all the way
It used to
across.
go under the road and come out over by the bridge.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that's why we changed it and come back into the brook upstream from the
Right.
Hatch Bridge.
Okay.
All right, so, then is there any other business that needs to be attended to? No? Then I will make note of the upcoming meetings. We have the VLTC governance meeting on October 3rd at 5:30 here.
A mailer did go out.
The mailer went out and the post office recycling box was very colorful for a couple, 3 days. And then our next regular meeting of the select board is on October 10th at 6. So unless there's anything else, I will entertain a motion to find that premature discussion of pending civil litigation will place the municipality at a disadvantage were it to occur in public session.
So moved.
No, I moved it,
Okay.
I do second.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of finding that premature discussion of pending civil litigation would place the municipality at a disadvantage were it to occur in public session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
It's a mouthful. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the motion passes. So now, I will entertain a motion to move into executive session under 1 VSA 313A1E to discuss pending litigation.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. There will not be a resolution from this particular issue.